everybody. I do like to experiment at the shop with stuff before we go rolling it out to other customers. So even though we already had one level 2 charger that we typically use for the Volt, it just wasn't quite fast enough, especially since we have an iPace that we charge up, and I have the Ford Lightning on order, so we need to get a higher level charger at the shop. So because of the chip shortage, the things that we normally get, charge points was like $1,300 and unknown delivery time. So we went through our distributor and we actually picked up a SolarEdge charger level 2. This is a maximum of 40 amps. It did come with the 1450 plug on the bottom, but we went ahead and pulled that and hardwired it just because I didn't want to have another like receptacle here and a cord hanging down, and this cleaned up the installation quite a bit. Obviously the plate isn't normal. I just kind of wanted to make the installation look very attractive. So this is bolted to a diamond sanded 3/8 thick piece of aluminum, and then of course onto the brick. Installation, well, for any of those that are familiar with SolarEdge inverters or other hardware, it's basically the same as the new installations go. It's not like the old ones. You just link up and it finds the internet very quickly and you're done. If you already have a SolarEdge product, then you just log in with the same information that you have and it finds it very quickly. The indicator is a solid green, meaning that it's charging, the Volt is still charging now. What I do like about this is that the cord is almost excessively long. Now when I measured it off, I have about 24 feet of useful cord. The rack is just big enough to hold that much cord. There we go. It is a very heavy gauge cord. I don't know if the insulation material is a little bit different than, say, charge point, but it's a very heavy gauge cord. Should be robust enough to last years and years in almost any environment. One of the things I am not going to like, that I really do like with the charge points, is the charge point mounting head swivels up and down. So not a big deal in this location where we have plenty of space and there's hardly anyone going to be walking by, but in a residential home, even in the typical 2-car garage, you don't have a whole lot of space to walk by between the vehicles and the walls, where a charge point head pivots and the plug will hang almost straight down. This one is sticking out at maybe 40 degrees. That's just one more thing for someone to hit and break off. The price difference, now my distributor price, I don't know if that's different from a retail price, was like $649, and the charge points we get from Amazon for $699. So after doing an installation, and I would still probably stick with a charge point product, and to be honest with you, it's just because that head can swivel down. Another upside of a charge point versus this SolarEdge charger, and these is that once we've hardwired it, we hardwired it with number 6 because, well, I had that laying around the shop. You can change the settings in the charge point to reflect a hardwired installation versus a plug installation, and can get a maximum of 50 amps out of it, as opposed to the 40 max out of this. Most vehicles can't take advantage of that right now, but in the future, every little bit of charging speed helps. So really, for that $50 price point, I would still probably stick with a charge point. Where the SolarEdge offers an advantage is if you have SolarEdge equipment that's compatible, you can charge directly from the power being produced from the panels, as long as you have a SolarEdge system in place. So one of the questions that we get a lot, no matter how many of these level 2 chargers that we put in, is how fast is my car going to charge? Well, that is all vehicle dependent. So most of the high-end chargers can deliver more amperage than what the vehicles can take, especially once you start getting up into the 40 and 50 amp range. So as long as you get a high-end charger, at least on a 50 amp circuit, most vehicles are going to charge as fast as they are allowed to charge from the manufacturer. It's, for the most part, it's not a function of the charger, unless you are utilizing something like this, which is only a 2-pole 20 amp. And even then, the charging up the volt, it didn't get near to that. It was only charging like it was only pulling like 13 amps. So if you got any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below.
User friendly, is it?
The app that you download from the Play Store for SolarEdge is like the rest of their products. If you're familiar with them, they're very user friendly. They provide excellent detail about charging, and they will keep the history of the vehicle and how much you've charged off of that charger, as long as you put that vehicle in there during the initial charging and setup process. So if you got any questions, comments, put them below. I'll get back with you. And as you can see from our level 2 installations, we try to do them better than anyone else. And that's it. That's all I got for today. Have a great weekend, everyone.